excited. We added 4 new guys to our roster. In Dylan Ager out of Shippensburg, 6'10". Got a transfer from Navy from Bishop McDevitt, John Corrigan. And in the recruitment of him in July, we found out his little brother Brian was available. So we ended up getting him also. And then the last week of July, we got a young man from Sweden, Philip Sasko, who's about 6'6", who joined the team. You know, in May we only had 1 recruit. By the end of July, we had 3 more. And so I think we added some guys that I think are going to help us quite a bit. In addition, we returned 10 guys. And you look at our season last year, we were 12 and 15, and that was with not having an inside guy really in Derek Graff that we lost earlier in the year, who would have been a 5th-year senior. So we had some holes in the middle, and it showed rebounding-wise. We got beat by 5 rebounds a game, and that was a big area of concern, so we wanted to improve on that area, and I think we did with the 3 inside guys that we brought, and the improvement of the guys that returned.
Floor is open for questions.
Coach, you kind of had a revolving door kind of thing going on there last year for one reason or another, injuries and whatnot. Good, bad, or indifferent? I mean, would you prefer to have a set lineup, or would you prefer to use everyone off the bench like we saw last year?
Well, we were trying to fill some gaps last year, and like you said, we didn't expect to not have 6'9" Derek Graff when we started the season. And then we had some other guys that weren't with the team in the first semester but returned halfway through. And then you also had Jordan's Decision, who has come on after only playing in the 2nd semester as one of our best perimeter guys. So we were kind of just putting things together last year to survive. And this year, it's a whole new ball game. I think we're much more consistent. I think we've got some depth. We've got some experience. And so I think this year, I can see us start with an 8 or 9 man rotation, but we could go as deep as 12. But right now, I think about 8 or 9 guys have stepped up and shown that they can play and that they're going to contribute. And then it's going to be a matter of injuries and whatever that decide just who's in the lineup.
You brought up the 12 and 15 season last year. I think it could have and maybe should have been a lot better. A lot of games got away late. Feel that way?
Yeah, and we had problems with turnovers. That's one of the areas that we talked about at the end of the year. So what areas do we need to improve on? One was turnovers. We need to finish games better and rebounding. This team changes a little bit defensively. You know, it's interesting listening to Coach Turn. We're kind of changing our defense too. We're not going to be a team that can get out and get in the passing lanes. We're going to have to contain more and then count on our rebounding to get up and down the floor. Now the difference is we're really pushing the break this year in a little different way. We're taking the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands all the time, because what I found last year, you know, being out the second half and watching the team play more instead of coaching them, I noticed that he was always coming back to the ball, and we really didn't have transition. This year, we're going to allow some of the off guards, like Jordan's Decision, Dane Lauber, Justin Minner, and Jaren Gembe may end up at the 2-guard spot. And with his experience, we need to have him on the floor more, whether it's at the point guard spot or the 2-guard spot. But what we're trying to do is release Jaren and release Lamar Jackson, so they're the guys that get that second pass, and they're the guys that are actually making the decisions at the end of our break. I think that will speed us up a little bit and allow us to get more in transition, not have to set up half-court all the time.
How important is the young man to your left to be?
Well, you know, he's had a great preseason. He's healthy. He's gone through a full preseason. And so you're going to see a different Will Royal to start the season than he did last year. He didn't even get on the practice floor until like October 20th of last year, so he really started late. He's doing a lot of good things. And he'll tell you, Dylan Ager is the real deal as far as a 6'10" player in our league. He's got skill, and we looked at the 4-5 men in our league, and I say we got as good of a 4-5 combination as Dylan and Will and anybody. And I think Dylan's learned a lot. You know, he played in the league, and he saw a couple big kids in the league, but he was really playing against undersized posts. Will has helped him as far as making that adjustments to college, with how much contact there is, how physical it is, how offensive post play is so important. And this guy's really taken it under his wing and really helped him. I predict that Dylan's going to be a starter for this team because he's so far ahead strength-wise and skill-wise than most freshmen we bring in to post play.
Talk a little bit about, you talked about parity in the teams you beat in last year. Obviously, it sounds like you feel confident you're improved also. Yet you're picked towards the bottom. Does that kind of give fuel your fire, and is it nice to kind of be the team that they maybe be overlooked and sneak up on teams?
Well, I think that those rankings are a lot based on last year, and they don't really incorporate the new guys as much, and also they don't take into effect a lot of changes that like happened with our team last year. But this year we don't have those same changes and situations. You know, we've been picked 6th in the West to turn around and won the thing. So I know those don't really mean a lot. Injuries play a big role. Your schedule, you know, early on, who you're playing has a big decision on how well you do going into the league. So I think those polls are nice to look at. I don't think they're always accurate. I look at ours in the East, and I think Bloom could compete with anybody. We could compete with anybody. Millersville brought in 7 new guys, so they're going to be different. You know, Mansfield, in my opinion, Mansfield's the best team because they got the best inside guy in the league. But other than that, it's just how things come together, where you're going to end up in this league, and that's exciting because I don't think there's too many teams in this whole 16-team conference that are out there. I think this is a year where you walk on the floor, you have a chance to beat anybody.
Talk a little bit about, and all three of you, with the depth you guys have this year, and you know, bringing in another inside guy that you get to practice against, and you know how that the competitive level in practices are going to be able to help on the court also.
Yeah, I think the depth is definitely one of our strengths as a team. Practice been very competitive this year. We got a lot of guys that are going to play, that are going to see time. We got a lot of guys that can play different positions on the floor, and it's only going to make us better as a team. It's going to make us more competitive in practice and games.
It's like Jaren said, it's very competitive in practice as far as last year. This year it feels like I'm actually right into the game, so it's just a matter of taking what we do in practice and just transfer it right over into the game once the time get here. As far as like the rankings, like Coach said, I don't feel as though like, all right, what, we 7? We don't really pay attention to that. We feel as though I feel as though that we're like the sleeper of the PSAC. I feel like we're gonna be the sleeper of the PSAC, so I just don't want teams to count us out because we're gonna be all right.
And you know, I look at this roster and how practices are going. I mean, Jaren, he's our captain right now, and he's had to fill in and start a lot of games as a sophomore and junior. And I really feel like at the point guard spot, I got 2 starting point guards at any time I can go either direction, which I think really gives us strength. I got Justin Minner and Dane Lauber, who, you know, Dane was 1 or 2 guys that started every game last year. Right now, Dane's coming off the bench. With that experience as a sophomore last year, starting every game, was going to pay dividends for us. You know, Justin was a starter as a sophomore. Right now, he's going to be coming off the bench. So all of a sudden, I got a couple of guys that have started, you know, a lot of games for us already, and will give us some depth. I think John Corrigan, the young man from Navy, hasn't played for 2 years, but right away, after we got him out on the floor in practice, we saw he's going to contribute because he knows how to score. He scored a lot of points for McDevitt. So, you know, those guys off the bench are going to play a very big role for us because they have the experience that can help us compete in this league. You know, the other thing I wanted to say is, you know, I'm excited. I got 9 local guys. You know, we got 9 guys that are from Central Pennsylvania, Franklin County, and I just feel good about this group. These guys ended up together for some reason. Usually our roster's dominated by Philadelphia, but this year, you know, know, we got Harrisburg, we got York, we got Greencastle, Shippensburg, and so it's nice to have that local feel. And I like the chemistry that this team's come together with. And like I said, I'm confident because I looked at my roster, my 14-man roster at the end of August, and I put it on my marker board, and I said, you know what? That group right there has a good chance to compete in this league because I think they're all unselfish. I think they all work hard, and I think they all have pretty good basketball IQs. And I think that can turn into a good season.
Coach, you mentioned the non-local players. Is that by chance, or does that become, is this local area become something become a recruiting area for you? Is that because of the type of basketball that's being played at the high school level right now?
Well, I think it's a combination. I think these guys all came from good programs, Harrisburg, Greencastle, you know, West York, when they made their run. Bishop McDevitt's had a great history. So I think they're coming from good programs. You know, I was talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about recruiting, and I said, you know, you may have the best player in the area 20 minutes down the road, but if that person doesn't want to be here, and maybe he don't fit into what you're trying to do, it doesn't matter. Well, these guys have come together, and they've ended up at our place. You know, you look at Corrigan, had to go to Navy and then come back to Ship. You look at Will, went to Robert Morris, and ended up coming back to Ship. You look at Jordan's Decision, going to out to New Jersey, playing there and coming back. I think, you know, there's a reason why they all ended up together. And I think the biggest thing is they came back for opportunity. And I think that's what they're going to get. You know, when we had a chance to get Will Royal, I said, Will, you know, instead of sitting up there, maybe getting in the game with Robert Morris, you're going to come in here and play. I said the same thing to Jordan's Decision when I heard he was available. I'd watched his career, and to be honest, I didn't see Jordan play his junior or senior year in high school because I knew that we weren't going to be able to recruit him from what I was hearing. But then when I heard he was available, we got right involved, and he ended up at the right place. And there's a guy, and these guys will tell you, he's going to have nights where every time he touches the ball, it could be a three. I mean, we changed our transition to include three-pointers. So we're thinking that if Craig Van Syok, Jaren Gembe, and Jordan's Decision get in transition and they get a shot the first 3 or 4 seconds, that may be as good a shot as we can get in our offense. And I think that takes the pressure off of Will and Dylan because teams are going to have to play us from outside in sometimes. And so, like I said, I think they all ended up together. I think they've got good personalities where they all get together and help one another. But I think they're really unselfish, and that may be the difference with this team.
Well, can you talk a little bit about you know, your perspective of, you know, what you see as the team bonding of you also, but just, you know, both of how you think the team's working together and the chemistry that you see building in the offseason and, you know, up to this season? Well,
from the beginning, everything started off really slow, but I mean, it's a process. We got new people that we're trying to incorporate into the system, and it's coming along well, but there's still a few wrinkles that we need to put together as far as the pieces. So I think we're going to be all right.
What about your feel, your comfort level in that, with in how you play with these guys and things like that?
My comfort level, I feel as though, like last year, I feel like there was a lot of pressure from last year as far as trying to score and do other things. So now I can like just get a sense of relax. I can relax a little bit, and I can rely on more of my teammates now more than ever because we got new people coming in. So I'll just say there's less pressure on me.
I'm very comfortable with our team. I think we all get along well. I know myself and Will, we feel as though if someone's not working hard, we can go to them and say, listen up, you're better than that. Let's go. Play a little harder, practice harder. As captains, that's our job. And if they like it, that's good. If not, maybe next time Will's going to go to them instead of me. We're going to try to get to them